Congressman, good morning to you and welcome. So here we are, Friday morning after the president is impeached in the House. And what is the next move?
Well, good morning, Sandra. You know, this is bizarre behavior by the Speaker to think that she can somehow tell the Senate how to run an impeachment trial after she literally broke House rules to deny the ability for the minority to even present our case, the alternative case, which House rules require. They literally ignored and broke that rule. But now it's in the hands of the Senate. And Mitch McConnell knows what he needs to do to actually run a fair trial, unlike what happened in the House. But think about this. Every impeachment before this always started with one thing, and that was a criminal act. It started with a crime. There was never a crime. This impeachment was an impeachment looking for a crime, and they never found it. They should have not done this. I think the court of public opinion has definitely turned against them because they abused the power of impeachment. In fact, one of the witnesses who under oath said he voted against Donald Trump testified and said that the only abuse of power is by the House abusing their power of impeachment because there was no case, there was no crime.
Well, another one of the witnesses, Professor Noah Rothman, is saying that unless these articles get delivered to the Senate, he doesn't believe an impeachment has actually taken place. And Newt Gingrich, the former Speaker of the House, echoed the same thing this morning on Fox and Friends. Listen to the Speaker.
I am sure that in the absence of actually delivering it to the Senate, it's null and void. It hasn't happened. Every day that this goes on, Pelosi is going to look sillier and sillier. The Democrats in the House are going to look more and more narrowly political and partisan.
What do you think about that, that maybe impeachment actually hasn't happened?
Well, I think it's a very valid point. And until those papers are turned over to the Senate, it didn't happen. And so, you know, whatever their reason was for starting this, clearly it was to appease their radical base. This looks more and more like it's been a political vendetta just because they don't agree with the results of the 2016 election. That's not why you have the power of impeachment. Our founding fathers put it there to be used very rarely for criminal acts. There is no criminal act. Just because you don't like a president, we have elections for that. Next year, we have an election. People will go to the polls. The American people will choose.
Well, there's got to be a strategy here.
Not Nancy Pelosi and this bizarre behavior.
And according to our Capitol Hill producer, the House could hold on to these articles for years, possibly till even after the election. So could the case be made that perhaps Nancy Pelosi has outwitted Republicans here? I mean, you must sit back and wonder what her strategy has been all along, knowing it was going to come to this point, Congressman.
I don't think anybody's arguing that she's outwitted anybody. I think people are looking, wondering what exactly is she doing, and I don't think she knows right now. I think she thought this was going to be something where the country sided with them. Frankly, it's backfired on them because they never had a case. It looks very much like a political vendetta because that's what it is. It's what it's been from the beginning. And so, you know, where they go next, it really is going to be in the hands of the Senate anyway. But they've already lost in the court of public opinion. They've even lost one of their own colleagues. Jeff Van Drew switched to the Republican Party yesterday, in fact, because he couldn't stand being a part of what they've done to upend what the Constitution designed to be a rare power that they've now abused.
But some observers, including our own Juan Williams, who is just here, are saying that Nancy Pelosi has leverage over Mitch McConnell as long as she's kind of dangling these articles of impeachment that the House passed on a pretty much partisan vote. What leverage do you see her as having here?
She has no leverage. Look, she's lost this battle. I don't think she understands how to let it go now because she thought it was going to turn out differently, and it didn't. It's literally worked against her. You look at what's happening in every swing state across the country. They're saying, why didn't you spend your majority this last year lowering drug prices, working with the president to get an infrastructure bill? She didn't do any of that because she was so obsessed with impeachment
to that point,
to carry out a political agenda.
To that point, she gave a press briefing yesterday, fielded a couple questions on impeachment. Then she said, does anybody want to ask me about anything else? She said she didn't want to take any more questions on impeachment. You mentioned Jeff Van Drew switching parties. He joined the president at the White House yesterday, and he said this.
Just a better fit for me. This is who I am. It's who I always was, but there was more tolerance of moderate Democrats, of blue dog Democrats, of conservative Democrats, and I think that's going away. Two more things I want to say. One, you have my undying support.
It was one Democrat out of many, but that happened. He joined the president yesterday, and we heard that. Congressman?
I welcome Jeff Andrew to the Republican Party, and I did so yesterday in person. But look, there are a lot of other people like him that are coming our way. He was a blue dog. Pelosi doesn't allow any space in the Democrat Party for moderate swing voting Democrats. And so she's got a long history, by the way, of Democrats who switch party to Republican because she runs such a far left socialist agenda. You can see the AOCs of the world have taken over the Democrat Party in the House. But that's not where middle America is, and they're losing middle America because of that far left socialist agenda that Pelosi rams through the House of Representatives.
Congressman Steve Scalise from the great state of Louisiana, we appreciate your time this morning. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you.
Merry Christmas and go Tigers.
All right.
Thanks,
Go
Congressman.
Tigers.